So, you want to take your kids to grandma's for Thanksgiving? Awesome. Unless, wait a minute, is it your turn for Thanksgiving or your co-parent's turn for Thanksgiving? I actually know the answers to these questions.
I never know. I never know from year to year. Whatever. On today's episodes of Parents and Professors, we're breaking down how to navigate holiday and break schedules when travel is involved. Whose custody time is this anyway? That's kind of like whose line is it anyway?
Very much so.
and what happens when I'm the one staying home? Because in my new family structure, that's seldom the case.
Oh,
But I long for those days.
I do get to be the solo parent sometimes.
Yeah. So whether you're planning for a family holiday trip or you're the one getting the chill at the crib, we got you covered.
Yo parents and professors. Yo parents and professors.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Marjorie Durham Williams,
I'm Dr. Michael Stephen Williams.
and welcome to another episode of the Parents and Professors podcast. So today we are talking about breaks, holiday schedules, travel when you're co-parenting with kids.
Yeah, I think this one is timely because we're coming up on the season,
The season.
if I may.
Yes, it is the season.
Not that there aren't seasons throughout the year.
It's all year long, really.
Yeah, especially when you have kids in travel sports, but I digress.
That's a total digression.
Yeah, there's always some kind of planning that's involved. So we're kind of thinking about travel generally, like how to think about holidays and breaks and how you split stuff up. But also the mental and emotional game that's involved in being away from your kids.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because sometimes it's awesome.
Sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
We're joking a lot.
so we gotta make space for both. So, go ahead.
Wait, before we get started, y'all know, gotta offer our disclaimer. So everything we share comes from research, publicly available information, and our own experience as co-parents and professors. So these views are our own, and this information is for entertainment purposes only. We're not lawyers. We're not your therapists.
We're not your mama.
We're definitely not your mama. But we do hope that what we can share with you all is at least a little bit helpful.
Yeah, we're two people who, through trial and error, have figured out how to make this work a little bit. And even in preparation for the show today, there was some appreciating of like, oh, what do people do if they...
Yeah. So, and I know we've talked about this, but really quick before we jump in. So again, Michael and I recognize that we are not a typical co-parenting.
Co-parenting divergent.
We're co-parenting divergent. But we do, in fact, I will share behind the scenes. Before this episode, we had some conflict. But I think for us, it's really thinking about what's worked and how do we apply that across the board, right? As researchers, we think about generalizability all the time.
Transferability, also valid, since this data is qualitative.
And so, yeah, just, we keep in mind the fact that our situation isn't everyone's situation, but we do think that there are common things that we've learned that can be helpful to folks across the board.
Yeah, and it just helps to hear people have the conversation sometimes because you don't know where you would go. And you often don't know who you would side with. So...
Do you mean between us?
No, I just mean obviously, if it's between us, they side with me. But if it's about general, I think hearing conversations, especially conversations where there's an opportunity to have different opinions or for like two people to be looking at the same thing. Yeah, it's like that image of, one person standing on one side and one person standing on the other side, and there's a 6 on the floor. But like to one person, it's a 6 and the other person, it's a 9 because it's about perspective. And there's always room to grow and to perspective take to the best of our ability. And so that's a part of what we're hoping for. So I guess
Yes.
let's start off.
Okay.
Can you explain the difference between the regular custody schedule? And it's funny because words like custody aren't words that are typically in our vernacular. Like I don't ever refer to like I have custody of the kids.
No, I just have the kids this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But so what's the difference between like the regular schedule and the holiday schedule? And why is this a point of contention and why does it confuse people?
Yeah. So I think there are a couple of different points to approach this from. So one is thinking about, in many cases, many cases, right? When there are two parents and they get divorced, there's this whole thing, and you got to go to court and you have to say, here's how we're going to parent, and this is what our plan is, and here's who's going to have the kids on what days. It's a very detailed sort of list of things that the court asks you to do in, right, deciding how to split, but also what it means to work through your parenting responsibilities. And so in that, you typically have what people refer to as the regular custody schedule. And so that is, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or Sunday through Saturday, or whatever, in any given typical week. This is the plan or the schedule.
225.
So Michael and I have talked about our schedule. And really all that means is Monday and Tuesday, the kids know they're going to be with their dad. Wednesday and Thursday, they know they're going to be with me. And then we switch weekends. It has worked for us. And I think we've had a couple conversations about, well, maybe we could change it or do a week on or do a week off.
No.
But I think
I don't need
give it
I don't need
a lot of time.
Well, I think it's
That
different.
feels like a lot of time.
I think it's different too when you come to appreciate part of what co-parenting offers you, which is a break.
Yeah.
And like recognition that break is valuable for your kids too sometimes. I'm trying to go to mom's house, or like
It's a quiet house.
yeah, or like the toys that I want are at dad's house, or like
Or the
Maya's
friends
not
I
gonna-
want to hang out with.
Exactly. Like Maya's not going to break into my room and elbow drop me.
Yo, they definitely did is Maya coming with us this weekend? Oh, like both of them were just like, disappointment. And I'm like, yo, what's wrong with your sister coming? And they're like, nothing is wrong. It's just
Yeah.
when we come to your house.
She's a different beast. And I think it's reasonable for somebody to think in terms. So like even the dynamic, I think a lot about the dynamic between all the different members of our family.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've had conversation before, and I've had a conversation with my wife. Like, yeah, there are certain combinations that work well, and it depends on what it's for. But there are also times where it's like, can I just hang out with my wife? Or can I just hang out with the boy? Or can I just, right? Like,
Yeah.
there are some ways where the additional personality or the different energy that somebody brings kind of creates a different dynamic. And so while as a parent and also as somebody who was raised as one of 3 children, I'm like, shut up. Your sibling is wherever you are, and I don't care what you
Oh,
think.
yeah. We didn't have this split time stuff.
But because there's such a gap in the age too, because, we got 14, 12, and 5, right? Like the 5-year-old introduces a wild card to your attempting to kick it. And so like the 2 older kids would rather be in their codependent, contentious relationship by themselves sometimes.
They'd be feeling like a divorced couple.
Yeah. And so I get it. But I guess when you're thinking about the difference between
that and the holiday schedule. So in my mind, it is, and in fact, we can talk through the process. So we typically update our calendar based on the kids' academic school calendar. So it'll essentially run from, all right, first day of school all the way through the end of, I'll say summer school, because we send them to summer school. And we'll have that same setup. So, click your recurring meeting schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, alternating weekends. All the co-parents get an invite. And then I will typically go back and update it with the holiday breaks. And so we will, for example, this week is, what is it? Oh, Thanksgiving. I totally forgot.
Impetus for the episode.
Right.
But,
So the point is, we're looking at Thanksgiving, for example, and I have Thanksgiving for the kids this year. So even though it's a U weekend based on
Did you?
Yeah, because
See, I'll be nice. I just adjust when we. So there, I think there are a couple of different points. So like one, I'll just admit that I don't care. Like the calendar doesn't really matter, and like I'm gonna take care of my kids. I'd be cool if they were here every day. I'd be cool if they were gone for an extended period of time. Like
and everything in between.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna be good either way. And so if you tell me like, oh no, you have them for Thanksgiving, then I'll be like, oh, okay, word. Like I'll buy a little bit more food, or
Right.
yeah. But I'm not. You and my wife are compulsive calendar checkers. And you'll be like asking questions, and I realize now that like for you is because you're just trying to plan vacations, like
and also know I'm supposed to
how
be.
far ahead can I get so that I know that I can get up out of here. Like, let me figure that out.
Actually, okay, so we're gonna talk about that too. But it's important, right? So having the kids calendar, everything else is built around it. And so, so
To a certain extent.
to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, because
again,
there are also
because we
times where
are-
there are like events that would traditionally require your presence where you're like, vacation.
I'm not gonna be at everything, and that's okay. Because I'm at most things.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And so I think that there's a different approach to the calendar when the calendar is contentious.
So in this case, we have our regular, custody schedule or regular calendar, and then we have the holiday calendar. The holiday calendar supersedes the regular schedule. So I think that's the important thing. So even though on the regular
okay.
calendar, so in fact, I was looking at it today, you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but because I have Thanksgiving, I just get them for the whole break.
Oh, so you're taking them for the whole break.
Yes,
Winning.
I have them for Thanksgiving.
I thought you guys were coming over here.
I mean, still have them though. Yes, we're coming
But then
over.
they're just going back.
Yes.
Word.
I would like to spend time with my children.
No, you should. You should. You've been
I know.
Mrs. Promises on the road.
I knew you were gonna say
Mrs.
that.
Promises back from the road.
But the point is, like, being able to have that clearly laid out on the calendar, and I mean, at this point, it's clockwork. But then that also feeds into how we think about the rest of those breaks. So we'll do Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, because they're in my mind, in a block. We'll just switch. So I have Thanksgiving. You have Christmas this year, Michael. And then I get New Year's.
Wait, why don't I get Christmas and New Year's? Because it's a week.
No, you get the first week of break, which has Christmas. I get the second week of break, which has New Year's.
Ain't Christmas and New Year's within a week of each other?
They have 2 weeks of break. That's why we have these conversations. Yes, they are, but they are 2 weeks of break. You get the first week of break.
What are we
which
doing
has
for your
Christmas.
birthday?
I didn't.
Your
think
birthday's
about
Christmas Eve.
my
So it's
birthday.
like,
I don't know. It's just a regular age. Like, I don't know. We go to dinner or something. I honestly have not even thought about my birthday this year, which lets you know how very overworked and stressed I am.
all right, I want to trade on air.
For what?
Oh, look at you. You're not even open to the trade.
Hold on.
Oh, did you see that reaction?
What would you? Why are we trading?
I'd rather have New Year's than Christmas.
But
no, that doesn't work. I got to go out.
wait, yeah, aren't you traveling?
Yeah, we got to go home.
So
Yeah, we got to go home.
wait, does it matter?
I think you're creating a travel snafu because now I got to figure out how I'm going to get them back out here in time.
Oh, were you planning to just take them for the whole thing?
I need to take them. We need to do some up close care.
Oh, right.
For
Yes.
family reasons.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I was thinking about family stuff too. So actually, this is a good one that we didn't even think about.
Yeah.
Not only when you're co-parenting are you considering your personal schedules and your co-parent schedules, but also family and the holidays is a thing for many. Not for everyone, but for many.
Yeah.
And like being able to, hey, it's not just that I want the kids with me, but I also want them to be able to visit their grandmother or their grandfather or whoever. Can be challenging when you have competing
Yeah,
priorities.
I think I don't know how transparent you want to be, but I'll just share. We're kind of going through some sandwich generation stuff right now where some of our elders are not doing so great. And it has changed my calculus a little bit about like how I want to spend the break. Because I am a person who loves my mortgage. I would comfortably stay home. Like, I'm happy to have people come to me, but I'm not trying to traverse the country to get to somebody when
right.
everything works well here. But I think there's a different sense of urgency this holiday season to like be present and like get back out east.
Yeah.
Just so the kids can kind of make their rounds so that like people can be seen and taken care of. And so my mom, who's unaffected by all of that, is just excited to have them around and have a reason to decorate and, you know, turn up. But I think my sense of connection to the holidays is a little bit different this year than it typically is because I'm not really a big holiday person. I never really grew up tripping about that. But I get a different excitement and pleasure from the holidays being a dad because they're all hype about it. And I was like, all right, throwing some K-pop Demon Hunters, wrap these gifts. Just even the excitement, each one of the kids has more fun with the damn box than they do with the gift inside the box.
I honestly, it might just be like, here's $100 this year for the big kids.
Gift cards are going crazy.
Because last year they were like, oh, stuff, but it wasn't really.
They don't
really care.
I think that I've wondered about this, and I think that this is a good little path to go down because I don't care about gifts like that. I don't know if I've like rubbed that off on them because even delayed gratification, like they'll get me a gift and it'll just sit until somebody reminds me that it needs to be opened. And I'm not like being a hater. It's
No,
just like,
you just don't. Yeah,
like I'm
it's
not
like, could you just open the gift that I spent lots of time
and like
deliberating over and getting for you because I know you're gonna like it.
I'm always excited. And in fact, Donna has already got you what I know is the GOAT gift.
Oh, damn.
It arrived. And I was like, oh, she's going to shriek. She's going to squeal with delight when she opens this. And now I got to figure out if I'm going to invest myself in one-upping Donna and her gift.
And now this is a thing because I'm like, oh, I have to. Oh, yeah. Actually, I have yours and hers, and I think they're very good. Yeah. I don't know if they're squeal worthy, but I'm.
Yeah, like I give good gifts. I feel like you would admit it.
Yes,
like I would.
I think we're collectively.
Yeah, like I'm not. But in terms of the receiving of the gifts, and I don't know if this is like some childhood drama or something. But yeah, like I'm just good. Like I'm excited and I love a good gift. And like if it's clothes, I will rock it. If it's liquor, I will drink it. I'll make good use of it. But the excitement about like the opening and kind of whatever initial space is there is a little bit different. So like when I think about
winter break, right? And like
when I think about winter break, and even just because really Thanksgiving is the beginning of a crazy period, no matter what. It happens to be a little bit crazier because I'm an academic and you're already operating on the university schedule. So you have like this long break around Thanksgiving and then you come back for like a week or two and then it's time for winter break.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And I think even the separation of that creates problems because there's just all the academic milestones like, when am I going to grade?
We should all get the month of December off.
The entire month.
The entire month. It's exactly like you said. So right now, and we are going on a minor tangent, and I swear we'll come back. At work, we are having conversations about how much we can squeeze into the little bit of time between December 1st and like the 17th. So now everyone is mad pressed to get a whole bunch of stuff done. And like, is this really worth it? Because no one's going to look at it come December 23rd.
I don't want the month of December off. I would rather have from December 15th to January 15th off. Like,
that's what you have.
No, but I'm saying that as an academic, but I think the real world, if the real world were operating like that too. Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody gets a month. Like all the other countries who have much better workforce policies and like, you have to go on holiday. Like, hey,
get out.
The only way that people would do it correctly in the United States is if it were compulsory. Like somebody would have to force you to take off.
Never happening. Although we do now have the amount that we can carry over is lower. So if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So essentially they're like, we're doing this to make you go on vacation.
You got to engage in that self-care of actually using your days.
Time off.
Yeah. And that makes sense to me because I wouldn't want to be in a situation where, and I think whatever sense of overwhelm I've been dealing with this semester, this is my first semester as a tenured professor, but I feel like
can you do the
I have less.
I don't want to touch it because I went to touch it.
Please don't break anything.
I went to touch it.
First semester as a tenured professor, but I let my schedule get out of control in a way that I wasn't anticipating, which has also caused a lot of the unnecessary angst around just scheduling and parent stuff in a way that it typically wouldn't. Because if I have the flexibility that I'm accustomed to as a professor, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Or like, this makes sense to me. But if every day feels like a battle for my soul and like just closing one loop, like I just want one thing to be done that doesn't follow me into tomorrow.
So if we So, the year continues. We get our holiday break, and then the next big one is spring break. And typically
Oh yeah, I guess so.
we alternate that. Although I think this is another interesting one because some folks get like a winter break and a spring break, or
Oh, like fall break.
winter break
Oh, that was
and
Villanova.
Easter, Passover, holiday break. So there's a lot of things happening in the spring.
You know what it is too? So on Instagram, you see those like, this is how you maximize your paid time off.
Yes, I
in the
love
new
those.
year. Yeah. And so I want to think about that. So, with the kids in travel, the big holidays are the ones that you're most interested in. It's Thanksgiving because your family's gathering wherever your family's gathering. It's Christmas because your family's gathering wherever your family's gathering. The little micro holidays in between. Nobody cares about Halloween or Valentine's Day.
I mean, those aren't.
Yeah,
Well-
like those are more adult holidays. Like you
Yeah,
might be
they're
trying
not.
to plan a vacation, but like you're not really like, oh, what am I gonna do with the kids?
Kids,
It's more
yeah.
like, hey, rock, paper, scissors. I'm trying to do something.
Like
actually on the,
February is like that. February is definitely like, no, you can take them. I can't do that. We can trade this day.
yeah, and I know even for me, so my anniversary is in early February.
That was-
It's within a week of Valentine's Day.
So many things there.
Yeah, but like so that's one of the things that requires a little bit more negotiation than the traditional. But other than that, you're looking at spring break and summer vacation. Those are kind of the two next big windows where you're trying to figure out the schedule.
Yeah. And I think too, part of the challenge is that if you aren't, on a positive co-parenting track yet, it can be challenging if folks feel like, oh, like I want to take my child here, or I want to do this, or we want to go here. And now you're having to like fight around or work around the regular schedule if you don't have a holiday schedule. Or
So
if something
let's
comes
do-
up.
Let's do the perspective taking, right? So I realize there are rules, and we won't go into it today because I think international travel is like a little bit beyond the scope of what we want to talk about now.
Mhm.
But there are like these higher levels of expectation in terms of how you move around with your kids especially if you have more of an antagonistic co-parenting relationship.
Yeah.
So like, we're looking up the rules about international travel. It's like, oh, you got to get stuff notarized. I'm like, yo, usually if I'm going anywhere with my kids internationally, you're probably coming with me. Like we're all going together, right? So I don't, or they're going on a school trip and we're both getting the freedom of them just being
Gone. Yeah.
So I think there's a mental and emotional aspect to dividing up the calendar that can go overlooked if you're in a more positive co-parenting situation.
Yes.
Yeah, because for the most part, if I put something on a calendar or you put something on a calendar and there isn't a conflict, it's just kind of accepted as, oh, okay, well, March is going to be gone at this time, or like Mike is going to be gone, or Mike and Donna are going to be gone. And we just adjust accordingly. But if you have a more antagonistic relationship, then I could know that I would feel like if I were the parent where the child primarily resided,
Mm-hmm.
I would feel much less flexible. Like, I feel like there would be a lot more conversation about like when and how and what fits, because even that idea, right? So,
And being specific.
yeah, because I know we were talking before we started recording about like, oh, well, what would you do if, we lived in different school districts for the kids? I was like, I would just move so that we're in the same district. Like that doesn't
Yes.
make sense to me.
And right, but there's some
Yeah.
people who are in the situation where and it might not even be that they live really far away, but just like far enough,
Far
if you're
enough away that that there's more conversation.
right.
But and even that, like,
And coordination.
and the upshoot of it, because whichever parent's house the kids go to school that's probably where all the kids' friends are. And so some of your attempts to travel with your kids during holidays might actually interrupt, especially now, like we have preteens.
Yeah,
and,
they're
like,
they have
teenagers.
plans.
They want to kick it. They're trying to go to plays and
do stuff with their
basketball
friends.
games and go kick it with their homies.
Yeah.
And so even that, I think it expands and complicates the idea a little bit, because now you're thinking not just about your schedule and your family, but now you're also thinking about the preferences of your child.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's all like, I don't want to call it Black Parenting 101 because I think a lot of minoritized parents act right this way. But like, it's like you're gonna go where I tell you to go.
I mean, also
when I tell you to go, but also like
in a
trying
very
not to,
loving, explanatory way.
but like trying to the extent that you're able to maintain a certain level of agency in the lives of your children. Like, I'm not just gonna force you to get on this plane
No.
and go hundreds of miles away from your friends if I don't have to.
I mean, I think that, and in fact, we actually used to do spring break. Spring break is a toss up. I feel like we don't have a real plan for spring break when I think about it. Probably on paper somewhere in our agreement we do.
I think
Like, there are
just
years
a
where
plan
we've
when somebody wants to go somewhere.
Split the week, or we've traveled as a group of
Yeah,
six.
we're more likely to travel as a group.
But not always. I'm trying to think of, I feel like we've typically split the week. Like, you get the first half, I'll get the second half, or I'll get the first half, you get the second half. But again, right, so this year, there's a family function happening the week of spring break. And so I think I just put, hey, I'm going to just take them and be gone for the week. And that's it.
It's fine.
Right. But not everybody's in that situation. So I could say, and I think when you talk about the perspective taking, recognizing that for some people, it might be like, oh, well, I also wanted to plan something, right, for the kids during spring break.
Then you just be like, too late. I was first to the calendar, homie.
So having, I think, a clear plan about how you're going to approach that, right? Is it whoever puts in the request first, you got to plan ahead. I mean, I think that's ultimately one of the big takeaways is that regardless of what your situation looks like, planning ahead as much as you can goes a long way towards at least giving you enough time and space to have the conversation so that you can reach hopefully a reasonable compromise.
Yeah,
or
and also
agreement.
being real about what's negotiable and what's not. Because I feel like there could be a time where you got beat to the calendar, but like the thing that you didn't put on the calendar yet is more important.
What do you feel like is a negotiable or a non-negotiable?
I think given some of the stuff that we've been dealing with our respective families, yeah, like if I had something on the calendar and you're like, yo, like actually this is going on and I really need them to roll with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. Like that's not something that I'm gonna fight about. I might be like, ooh, I hope I didn't put down a deposit that's non-refundable. But at the end of the day,
yeah,
there are things that are negotiable and that you have to think about. And so yeah, pre-planning and communication are really important for sure. But also maintaining a certain level of flexibility, like just the recognition that the best laid plans, like man plans, God laughs,
right. And I think also this again, I think also speaks to being on the same page as much as you can be as co-parents around not just what your priorities are, but what the priorities are for the kids. And so one of the things that I think we've talked about before is vacations during school time. And
never again.
Essentially their entire academic lives, we've been like, absolutely not. That's so ridiculous. But ended up in a situation where it's like, this is the only time this thing can happen. And so went on a vacation and there were some school days in there and it was awful. I don't know how y'all other parents do it. And I see parents do it like multiple times in a year.
I think you got to think about the needs of your children.
It just feels like not fun.
Yeah, but the girls were fun. It was,
but we still had to make sure like homework was. I just know.
I don't want homework to be a part of any
I don't
trip.
want homework to be a part of vacation.
Yeah,
that's not vacation. Now I'm at home and I'm just parenting you. In a way that's like I don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. It's not good.
It reveals the lack of balance that we've had for forever. Because it's like, I don't really go on vacation. I take work trips.
I take work trips.
Like, I might not be home, but I'm working. Like, wherever I've gone, I have my laptop.
I have my laptop and I'm working.
Yeah, I have my laptop. I have my second screen.
I never leave home without it.
A list of things that need to get done. There's a series of people who are going to be hitting me up, asking me questions about the status of XYZ. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want the kids to be in that situation, even if I find myself in it more frequently than I would like.
Yeah. Like vacation should just be vacation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that all of those things are considerations for co-parents as you're thinking about, navigating the schedule, but in particular the like holiday and break schedule. And I think if you can do it well, we've gotten to a place where we can travel as a family of 6. It makes things so much easier. And not to say that you have to travel with your co-parent,
If they cool, you should
I mean,
be.
if you're cool.
I feel like people rob themselves of like quality relationships. And I think this is connected to our previous episode where it's like your ex's new partner probably shares some characteristics and would be fun. Like, I don't like
like your ex probably likes the same things.
yeah, like there's probably some overlap and like we could probably have fun together if you just get out of whatever, barrier is being created. But wait. I want to
Yes.
get back on. I don't know if it's script per se, but I want to be like more in the area because I think that we started to unpack some of the emotional baggage that comes with like parenting, not parenting, traveling, not traveling with your kids. So like, what's your perspective when you're the parent that's just at home dolo? Oh yeah, it's a beverage commercial. Yep.
Corona. Find your beach. I recognize that I am I'm a high touch, low touch parent. So when I'm with the kids and they're here and I'm here on it, when I don't have to be the primary responsible adult for their safety and well-being, I don't worry about those things because they have a very capable dad and madre who are with them and who are caring for them and loving them. And if they need anything, they will call me. Especially now that they're older. I think that was a little different when they were younger, but now they're at the point where, they're essentially like free range chickens. You just kind of make sure that they're fed.
That's how I felt about grandparents.
Oh, interesting. Say more.
Well, like we've had a general tradition of usually the month of July is when we have the kids kicking it with their grandparents.
Yes, that's what it's like.
Yeah, and I'm like, see ya. Holla at me when you want.
No, actually, I take it back. The one thing I will change, and I've given this some thought, is I also don't call them a lot. And I remember when we first got divorced, I was worried about being disruptive when they weren't with me. And so I think I sort of made a conscious effort as to like, okay, like dad time is dad time. I'll see them in a couple of days, not a big deal. And I think I got used to that. And so when they're not with me, it's like, okay, well, they're with you. And like, that's like their time. I mean, I'm clearly over here on a not me day, but generally I think that I maybe have socialized myself to not be so attached, especially in the beginning, because it was hard. Like that first year when we were separated and heading towards divorce, and I think maybe, you had them for Christmas. And I was just here by myself. Thankfully I had a friend who was like, oh, like you can come, spend Christmas with me and my family. But it was hard. Like I was really sad that I wasn't getting to spend Christmas with my kids. Now though, because they're older and I think we're all more adjusted, I count it as something, as a positive, where I get time to reset myself versus feeling like I'm losing something.
Fascinating. It's because I just don't feel the same. Like if I want to talk to my kids, I'm going to call my kids. If I
want to, yeah. But
like if I don't. And so I never, actually, let me take a different path. I realize now, being a parent whose children don't communicate with them for very long stretches, why my mom is always like, yo, you could just call me. Nigga, like,
yes. So that has also made me recognize like,
and so I think that if anything, being a father has made me more communicative with my mother. And I'm not perfect, but at least once a week I try to like, hey, just call and shoot the shit. Because I know if my kids are gone
it's like weeks on end,
4 weeks,
Jesus.
they're so like radically present wherever they are that they might not speak to me
that's
unless
kind of you.
they're asking for something.
Right.
Hey, can you put some money in my account so I can go do this thing? Hey, am I allowed to have insert random electronic or loud toy? That, you know, like that's a little bit different. And so I want to be careful about what my expectations are, but align like my expectations for my kids with my own behavior with my parents.
True. And I think too the other piece of this is it'll look different for your kids depending on how old they are. Again, when they were much younger, there was more, check-in and how are your things going and are you being good and just whatever. I think that also now because they're more independent, that if they're with you on wherever it is that you're going with the kids, I'm also less inclined to, like, they're gonna tell me whatever it is they're gonna tell me. Like, I don't feel like I need to, oh, what did you do? And
I mean, the
what
problem
happened?
the
And
problem
tell
is
me
the
more. And
boys is a weak storyteller. Like if I want the details, I'm asking Makaria. Like, hey, what did you guys do?
I mean, okay, general storytelling, yes, but they're still gonna provide some kind of summary of, oh, this is what we did with dad, or oh, this happened this weekend, or oh, we did this cool thing, and I'm like, oh, that's
Unprompted?
what's up. If they're coming from like if they've been with you and y'all have traveled, yeah, they'll like give me like, oh, we did this, da da da, or
Oh, I have no idea what they do with you.
so like when you guys went to,
Maybe like I'm more likely to get a report from Maya if she happens to be with you.
Maya's
Or
gonna
she'll
give
like-
all the.
And then we went to the library and I saw a dog. The dog let me pet him. Right? Like there's gonna be these micro details that don't really the big kids just be like, I was at mom's. Sure, I'll keep it moving.
It's just, I mean, yeah. So I guess some of it comes with time, maybe, that your kids, I mean, ideally, if you set up a positive structure where there isn't a contentious relationship between parents and they're not being forced to be go-betweens, or you're interrogating like, oh, what did they do? Or what did they say? Or who did you see? Or who, like, that's not at all, I think, helpful. And it puts kids in a terrible position. Like, we shouldn't ever be making them the go-betweens. So I think that was also something for me that I didn't ever want them to feel like they had to pick a parent or had to pick a side between us. And so being the parent at home, like that first Christmas, it was kind of like a general, like, oh, how was the trip? Right? That's totally fine. And it's not to say you can't talk to your kids or that you're not allowed to like ask them about what's going on in their lives, but it shouldn't be done in a way that's like trying to find a way to attack the other parent, or, oh, I'm sure they did something wrong, or, oh, they didn't do the thing the way I would have done it.
You're not gathering ammunition. You're
Right.
actually just concerned with your children's experiences, which sadly isn't always the case for people.
No. And so I have an interesting question, because this is also, I think, a challenge that thankfully we've never faced, but we have friends who are divorced. And so one of the things that I have seen folks try to navigate is this: the child is supposed to be at one parent and they're like, no, I want to go home, or I want to go back to mom's, dad's, whoever's, grandma's. And like, what do you do then?
Let me
Actually,
call
I'd be
Missy.
like, great.
Exactly. Let me hit your mama up and see if
Listen,
she wants you back.
You can go to your dad's
Because
house.
you can sure as hell
Okay.
get out of my house, B.
We are clearly not.
I mean, hold on. Let me see if your mama's home, and that's a possibility.
I will drop you off right now.
Like, matter of fact, did she pull away yet? Like, flag it. Hold on. Here's my cell phone.
Okay, that's not. For parents who want their kids to be with them, right, if you're splitting custody, like for real splitting custody, where you get a week.
I think you got to be realistic though. So like, there's probably a reason that your kid wants to be at one place over the other.
Mm.
And like, what is that? Is that because of the emotional tenor of the space? Is it because of what's available? Is it because, oh, like my PlayStation 5 is at dad's? Or right, like what? Because it could be something like trivial and small, but it could also be something much bigger. And so I think doing an inventory, when something like that happens, if you find yourself surprised by it, then I think it's reasonable to do some investigating. Like, hey, like what's behind this? And is this something that's fixable, or is it something that we just kind of got to accept?
Yeah.
Because I also think that kids are just attracted to a parent. Like they just barnacle to one of the parents. And so, like
Yeah.
that's a very normal thing. And in their adjustment period, I think you also have to be careful about how much space you give them to kind of figure it out. Like, where are you like, oh, that's fine, I'll try to accommodate that request, versus no.
In a kind, loving,
Yeah,
parenting way.
like absolutely not. Like, you shan't decide because you are not an adult and you do not pay bills.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to say that, right? That sometimes kids might feel anxious or nervous or worried, and those are normal emotions that children are allowed to feel. I think that's important to say. Sometimes it seems like people think that if your kid is not happy 24/7, that something is wrong.
It means they're just a normal kid.
And I would argue that kids should have a range of emotions, and if they're only happy all the time and that there's never anything wrong.
I prescribe that you go watch Inside Out and Inside Out 2.
Oh, that's a good example. Right. So your kids are going to have a range of emotions. And so I think it's important to distinguish between I want to come home, I miss you too, baby, versus something is wrong and like now you need to intervene.
Maya did that to my mom. She's like, I don't miss you anymore, Grandma.
Or I don't miss you anymore. I'm ready to go.
She's been kicking me for a couple of weeks. She's like, I'm ready to get back in my house.
I've had enough of this.
So landing the plane.
Yes.
Right? What do you hope are the takeaways?
I think one of my biggest takeaways, and this would be in the, what not to do or things to avoid, really is just that last minute planning. And I know sometimes things come up and are unavoidable and you have to manage that. But, if you want to take your kids somewhere, whenever that might be, you don't have to wait till like the month before to start planning, right? And especially if you don't have a positive co-parenting relationship, right? Like, what are the buffers that you can put in place to minimize conflict? And like, I think that's one of them. Because even for us, right, the earlier things are on the calendar, the less issues they are. Because it's like, oh, that's already on the calendar. Like, move around it or plan something else. So I feel like that's an important one. And then like checking your schedule. And if you don't have one, I would suggest you think about developing one if you feel like you need it. Because we have a pretty flexible schedule. Like there's a regular schedule, but it's flexible. And so I think that's another piece too, like knowing your schedule and like planning ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I would hope people leave with is just kind of a sense of flexibility, that life is gonna life, and people's needs in terms of travel and presence and care are gonna change according to what's happening. And so being willing to be flexible, like, obviously clearly communicating, doing your best to plan ahead for sure, but recognizing that the kids aren't like chess pieces. They're human beings that
Yeah.
Deserve care and consideration. And especially as they age, like you want to consider their feelings more and more. You want to imbue them with a sense of agency and control over their lives. So like being flexible, building in appropriate buffers, communicating early and often. Like as soon as you think something might be a plan, like getting it onto the calendar, just so you can start the negotiation, because you never know. Like somebody else could want the exact same date, or like, oh, this is my birthday, or like, oh, this is me and my boyfriend's anniversary. And you'd be like, how was I supposed to know that? Like,
I mean, yeah, that is a very valid point.
Yeah, like, how would I possibly know that if that's not on the calendar? Like, I'm not clocking that at all. And so, and then like returning to each other, because I think that with everything around co-parenting, all of it gets easier with practice. Like the more times that you see in a situation, the more times that you've worked through conflict, the more times that you've really like sincerely considered the other person's needs and feelings and like the needs and feelings of the kids, you just get better at it.
Yeah.
And so I know that like we solve conflict way faster than we used to. I think that we recover from setbacks way faster than we used to. I think we're more resilient to changes in the schedule and like doing the best that we can to hold each other down. And that's what I would hope for anybody who's sharing responsibility for kids.
Yeah. And I think your point about, the flexibility and the perspective taking that we mentioned earlier feels particularly salient during some of those like holiday special occasions. We didn't talk about birthdays, but that's in there too. And it's not always easy when you are in the volcano of emotions and there's a lot happening, and it's the F him, or I don't care what she thinks, or they're not the boss of me, and on and on and on.
You are not the boss of me.
You can't tell me what to do. Okay, yes, and right? Like I think that's clearly a yes, and what's in the best interest of the kids, and what's in the best interest of the kids is that their parents are good. And so I hope that as folks get into thinking about holidays and schedules and co-parenting, that it can at least be something that potentially can lead to some positive exchanges between folks who are co-parenting.
Yeah, how do we make it the best that we can for these babies?
Yeah, as opposed to something that's negative and stressful and causes more conflict.
And with that, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Parents and Professors podcast.
Peace.
If this conversation resonated with you, do us a huge, huge, huge favor. Like the episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all our socials. I actually be going crazy on Instagram, so that's the best one.
And please feel free to drop a comment below. Tell us what you liked, what you hated, where you'd like us to dig deeper, or even if you think we missed something. We're always learning and growing, and we want to make sure that we're creating content that resonates with viewers like you.
And most importantly, and this is a huge one, if you know somebody who could benefit from hearing the conversations that we're having on this episode, please share. Sharing is caring. We're doing this for the love and to build a community because it matters.
And at the end of the day, that's the most important part, creating spaces where we can have real, honest conversations about the things that matter to you: education, parenting, relationships, and everything in between.
So thanks for being part of our community. Go check out the catalog of other episodes if you haven't. And we look forward to seeing you next time on the Parents and Professors podcast.
No cap, teaching our kids, making more